What's going on out there, YouTube? This is Mark with Waist Deep Wade Fishing, Southwest Florida. I hope everyone is having a good day, in spite of what's going on now in the news. So I figured today would be one of the days that I put out there something to put a smile on everyone's face. Something to make people laugh a little bit, cringe a little bit, just to take people away from what's going on in the world. So today's topic is going to be funny fishing stories part 2. And before we go into that, I do want to thank everybody for being so supportive of the channel. Again, every day I'm checking in, and every day I'm seeing more subscribers, more views, more comments. So my hat is off to you. Thank you very much for supporting the channel, being a part of the Waist Deep family over here in Fort Myers, Florida. And I'm going to try to keep on putting nothing but the best content out there for you guys' viewing pleasure. So we're going to go into it now. Funny fishing stories number 2. The first one I would like to talk about happened up in Port Charlotte just about 10 years ago. I was with one of my best friends, and we usually, we used to fish the El Jobin Pier on a regular basis. So we did fairly well there, and we always wondered, while we were on that pier, if you look across the pier, you can see that there's another trestle there, another pier, but it's abandoned, and there's signs on it. Please, don't go on there and don't fish off there. But we knew, because of those signs, that there's going to be snook there. So, one day we were just like, well, what the hell? We heard of other people, fishing it. So we wanted to go ahead and do the same. So it was about 100 degrees outside. It was, right around 5 or 6 o'clock in a summer's evening. So we decided to walk on over there, and we did. So we walked through, and we got to this spot, and, we were looking over this banister just to find a way down because it's a deep drop. And sure enough, somebody had put a makeshift ladder and left it there. So obviously there were people fishing there. So me and my buddy, we got down that ladder, got down by the side of the bridge there, started to go into the mangrove forest there, and it was hot, it was humid, it was, mucky. And at that time, I had my trusty tackle box in one hand and my fishing rod in the other. So, we're ducking and diving through the mangrove forest, and I happened to see this big limb. And my buddy, isn't as tall as I am, and he ducks right under it. Well, I go to walk up to this branch, and I'm 6'4", so I go to duck underneath this branch, and I bump it. And when I bump it, I spooked a big, huge banana spider, and it fell right onto my neck and bit me right in the neck. Now at this time, I've only been in Florida for a little while. I didn't know too much about the wildlife, and of course, you get bit on the neck, by a spider. I'm like, oh my God, is it poisonous? Am I gonna die? What's gonna happen? Is there venom? Is my neck gonna swell shut? Blah blah blah. I lost my mind. But my friend said, look, they do have a sting. They do have a little bit of venom, not enough to kill a human, but enough that it's gonna sting and it'll swell up a little bit. And after a couple hours, it'll be fine. So what I ended up doing was going further with my trek, getting onto that bridge, catching about 20 snook that night, drank a couple of beers, took a rag with some ice, put it on there. It burned like hell for a little while, but eventually I was fine. I walked away unscathed. So there's another story for you. Here's another one that is hilarious. And it hurt like hell. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. All right, so again, this is going back about, between 10 and 15 years ago. I was fishing on the San Pier. Learning the ropes, learning about the fish. Basically was a rookie to the Florida inshore fishing, the bridge and pier fishing. But I was with someone who was advanced, that was born and raised here. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go with you, and you're gonna teach me. So we get on the pier, and it was a beautiful day. We had just got bait, and I was ready to go. So I get on there and I catch what we call a sail cat, aka a gaff top catfish. Now, if people don't know what that is, it's a saltwater catfish about this big, and it looks like it's got a sail or a gaff top. All right, well, on that top, okay, it's got a spine, and it's got poison. Well, not poison, but venom. And if you get stuck by that spine, you're gonna know about it, because it stings like hell. Well, how the story goes, it's quite funny. I catch him, and I don't want to touch this thing. All right, he's flopping all over the dock and flipping and flopping all over the ground, and I don't know what to do. And my buddy, he's got a snook on, so he's busy. So I'm like, all right. Now keep in mind, I was wearing flip-flops, not sneakers. So he's flopping around. I finally get the hook out of his mouth, and I don't want to pick him up to put him in the water. So what I do is, what any other person would do, like I kind of shove him with my foot. Well, I bumped him a couple of times, and I got him to move a little bit. Then he started flopping around. So I gave him a good shove like that. And the last shove I was going to give him, he had turned around just at the right time. And when I came at him, he put that barb straight into the top of my big toe, and it was in there. So now this catfish is flopping around with a barb stuck in my toe. I'm screaming, my buddy comes over, the thing breaks off, it's in my toe, the barb. Catfish goes, he's like, dude, you're gonna have to go to the hospital, blah, 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 blah. The guy in the pier, it was like, nah, don't worry about it, but this has happened before, it's only a little piece. Dig the piece out, go to the store, go get yourself a bucket, go get some bleach, dig that barb out, make sure you get everything out, there's no pieces left in there, soak your foot in bleach for like 2 hours, you're good to go. So I was like, what? Oh, and it turns out that, it worked. We ended up going to Walmart. I got the bucket, I got the bleach, soaked my foot for 2 hours in it, but the stinging in that foot, especially on that toe, the stinging, the sensation, the pain was there for 24 hours on that toe. And that one I'm not gonna forget. That one was pretty rough. But is what it is. It's a funny story. I figure I'd share it. So now here's another one for you that you're gonna find amusing. I don't know if you've been in the same situation, but this one caught me off guard, and I damn near walked on water when it happened. I was out wade fishing at Burnstorm Marina, not too far from the sandbar. And I was out there doing my thing, and I was out there throwing lures, doing what I do. And the mullet were jumping around like crazy, and I'm sure you guys been out there before, and you've just seen the mullet jump. And to this day, I don't know if they're jumping because something is spooking them, or they're jumping just to play, or they're jumping to get parasites off their body. But I see mullet jumping all the time, and I'm sure you guys do too. Well, I'm walking around and I'm casting my plug, looking for, these big trout. And this mullet, I'm talking at least 5 pounds, and this sucker was like this big, leaps out of the water and hits me right in the chest as I'm walking. I mean, literally jumps out of the water, hits me in the chest. I mean, pushes me enough where I jump back. I'm like, holy shit. I just, fight or flight kicked in. I automatically panicked. I said, oh my goodness, and just started running towards shore. After about 5 or 10 seconds of running through the water, I calmed myself down, realized what just happened, caught my breath, ended up with a nice little bruise right here across the chest. And I'll never forget that. I mean, it completely scared the beep beep out of me. I mean, where I took off and started running. There's another one for you. All right, so I've got one more good one that I know you're gonna find funny, and I'm sure this has happened to people before, but this is another one that hurt like hell, and I'm not gonna forget it. So I'm helping my buddy cast net bait on the at a shoreline spot on the Sanibel Causeway, and we had a bunch of bait that we had just caught, and we dragged the net up to the sand, and the net opened, so all the pilchards came out, and we were just picking out the prime ones, and giving the birds a free feed and whatnot. So as the commotion's going on and the bait is flapping and the birds are coming in and stealing something, grabbing the bait, and I'm picking out all the ones that look good, I grab a finfish that we have a nickname for called a skipjack. It almost looks like a pilchard, but it's got a yellow tail, right? And it has 2 venomous barbs that on its belly that are like that, and basically they're hypodermic needles. And he can push them out whenever that's his mechanism to defend himself. So whenever he feels scared, he can just and put those out, tag whatever's trying to bite him, stick it in their mouth, and that's it. Well, I go to grab this thing, and not knowing what it was, I grab it with my right hand. Just to give you an example, I go to grab it like this, just like that, and right on its belly, my middle finger had curved around, and he shot that barb, or that hypodermic needle, right underneath my nail in my middle finger, straight in, and the poison went in there as well. So whatever kind of toxin it has in there, I mean, again, it's not going to kill you. It didn't send me to the hospital, but for a good hour or two, the middle finger went numb. Then it started to throb and burn, and then I was just getting an aching pain coming up from my middle finger up into the middle of my arm, and then it would stop right about here. And it burned for a while. I mean, it definitely wasn't pleasurable. But those are just some more funny stories to add to the table. Again, I hope I can put a smile on your faces out there, get your mind off of what's going on in the world right now. I hope you liked what you heard, what you saw. If you did, hit the subscribe button on the bottom, hit the like button, share. Please hit the notification bell so you'll be notified for my upcoming videos. And listen, also, if you have any funny stories that you would love to add to my video, type them in the comments. I'd love to hear about them, and I'll talk about them in the next funny video. Okay, so till then, thank you very much. My hat is off to everyone. I love you all out there. Please be happy, healthy, and safe. Okay? Get out in them flats as soon as you can, and you know what to go get, right? Go get yourself a yellow mouth. See you in the next video.